What's going on? What's going on? I'm Eugene Napoleon. This is Napoleon's Corner. Hope all is well. Before I get started, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate your support. This is episode 260. 260. And the title of this particular episode is Do Something. And my thought anything that you're involved with that you're not necessarily thinking all the way through, and you're wondering why things are not progressing, why things are not happening, why things are not moving forward the way that you want them to. It's simply because you have to do something. You have to do something about it. Doesn't matter what it is. In most cases, we, including myself, probably would sit back and think things through and try to figure out what we're working towards. And sometimes we don't always rationalize that. It depends on where we are in our emotional state of mind, how we're thinking about it, right? But when I mean do something, I mean literally do something about your circumstances. Do something about you being unhappy. Do something about you being overweight. Do something about you being lazy. Do something about you not moving in the type of space and pace that you want to move at. Do something about it. Don't be lazy about it. It doesn't matter what it is. This applies to just about everything in life. Relationships. You don't like your relationship? Do something about it. You don't like your marriage? Do something about it. You don't like your place of work? Do something about it. Here's the thing. In most cases, instead of getting upset, instead of getting emotional, instead of complaining, you have the opportunity to do something about it, whatever that is, whatever the circumstances are. Do something. I find it probably easier to do something about your set of circumstances than complaining about it. And I'll tell you why. When you have a set of circumstances that you don't like, and you're sitting there complaining to everybody that would listen, the same amount of time that you take complaining about it, you could have figured something out to do something about it. You got two issues at that point. You're complaining to people that probably really don't care. They might act like they care, but they really don't care. And the other part of it is you still haven't made any type of move, any productive move to do something about your set of circumstances that you're complaining about. So those are two things. Instead of one, those are two issues. You're complaining, not moving forward, which means you're stagnant. You're complaining to someone who probably really don't care. And then you still, when you're done complaining, you're done griping, you still have the issue. You still have the negative set of circumstances that you've been complaining about. So instead of doing all of that, do something. It may sound simple, but if you really sit down to think about half of the things that we are unhappy about in our own personal life, we really can control some of those things. Because if we can control our emotions to, let's say, put yourself in a certain set of circumstances and you get all emotional about it, then you probably can use that same energy to figure out an out, to render your situation in a positive way. So that's what I mean by do something. Years ago, I remember having this conversation with my mother, and we were sitting at the table and we were going over certain conversations, and it struck my mother odd that we're having this conversation, but I'm not moving in a direction that's going to allow me to be successful in this particular situation. So as good as good that love you unconditionally will do, she listened. She listened, and when I got done giving her an earful of what I thought, My mother simply said to me, what are you going to do to fix the situation? What's your game plan? What's your blueprint? What are you going to do? And it hit me right then and there, because my mom's was always that type of person where she'll listen to you and she will give you advice. And sometimes, depending on what your set of circumstances were, the advice she gave you was right down the middle, right smack down the middle, right? And when she asked me that question, what are you going to do to remedy your situation? What are you going to do to fix it, to move forward in a productive manner? What's your game plan? What's your blueprint? I snapped right out of it. It put me in the mindset of, you're right. You're right. I've sat and probably spent 25 minutes or 30 minutes talking about something that I probably could have spent the same 30 minutes figuring out a game plan, figuring out a blueprint of how I can navigate this thing and fix this thing. So that was one to grow on for me. And that was a lesson learned that day, where I'm not need somebody to talk to. That's not what I'm saying. We all need someone to talk to. What I am saying, when you get to that point, do something. Last week, I talked about students and I talked about young people and just people in general, maybe not always putting themselves in the best position when it comes to listening and things of that nature, and really being productive in regards to listening to older adults who really are trying to give you some advice. Well, I'm gonna end with this. Parents, when you have young people running around doing the most, and I do mean the most, out of pocket, disrespectful, do something about that. Sit them down, make them understand. There's no way that a child is going to tell an adult what they are or what they're not going to do, right? No way. So when those set of circumstances happen and when those situations come about, oh, you definitely got to do something. Because here's the thing, when your child leaves your home and they're going to school, whatever the case may be, and they're acting in a way, in a manner that is not becoming of how they're being raised at home, you got to do something about that. You got to make that situation right, because it's nobody's responsibility to raise an unruly child. And I know that might sting some people. It may hit some people's ears a little bit differently, but that's exactly what a parent is. Someone that is going to raise their children or their child in the manner in which they understand how to be respectful, how to follow rules, how to listen to rules, how to not, if there's something that child don't understand, or they feel as though they're being disrespected, call home and let the parent deal with the other adult. I've seen this far too many times where an adult is telling a child to do something and the child is coming out their face wild. Some of the conversations and some of the language is so disrespectful, so out of touch. It's almost a different child from leaving their house to getting, let's say, to the school or whatever the case may be. That can't be. Do something about that. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, now you put yourself in that child in a real interesting position, because the streets don't care and streets have rules too. So if you don't want to put yourself or your child in that position, when he or she comes home and you get that phone call that they've done this, this, and this, you might want to make sure that you have that conversation It's a very direct conversation where you are going to go to school or wherever and act accordingly because you were raised properly. And if not, if I get that call, I am going to do something about it because I am a parent. Just saying. I always say this, each one teach one. Just healthy advice. Do something about the circumstances that you're in because you definitely can and you hold the key. I'm Eugene Napoleon. This is Napoleon's Corner. I'll see you next week. Take care.